Splage and Lotus Field are banned, while Jite and Violent Outburst are unbanned. In this new modern meta, I think some new Strixhaven cards are going to help Lantern Control thrive. So I'm still playing around with various blue-based Lantern Control lists to see what I would want to play. And I think that Great Hall of the Biblioplex is actually such a big deal for these blue-based word lists that I want to build around it going forward. So that means the deck is going to consist of colorless artifacts and instants and sorceries that do other things. I liked Erode when I played it. I liked Drown in the Loch when I played it. I'm going to try playing both today, actually, to see what happens. And the sideboard is just more of the same. Colorless Hate Rocks, instants and sorceries in various colors. This seems like a decent way to build a Lantern Control deck going forward. I hope that I'm not going to have as many mana issues as some other builds that I have played or that I have seen. And we're really going to just put this Great Hall to the test and see just how good it can be. I am on the play in match 1 versus Robin0726. And this is a double Urza Saga hand. If I find a black source to go with this, then I guess it's okay, but I still have the double blue, or the triple blue and the blue black here. I think I am just going to mulligan this. Ooh, and this is a real test. I am going to keep, and I'm actually going to bottom one of the Mox Opals. Do I lead on Great Hall or do I lead on Spire? I think I'm going to lead on Great Hall. I would love to draw something to do on my second turn. That qualifies as something to do on my second turn, that's for sure. All right, let's go ahead and throw down a Lantern of Insight. That is an Umezawa's Jite on top of the hero's deck. First sighting of this card since it's been unbanned. I'm going to cast this Mox Opal and I'm going to pass turn. So that tells me that we're probably against some sort of Esper Blink strategy using Stoneforge Mystic. I will let them have this Jite if they don't shuffle. Yeah, there they go. That is a Felia. I think I will actually take the Felia if they don't keep it. All right, there we go. So they got rid of the Felia all on their own. I will let them have an Ephemerate. And they're going to be shuffling here anyway. I don't want that Glimmer Void on top of my deck, so I am just going to do one of those. That's fantastic. So now we've got a little bit of a lock going on, and I need to decide if I am casting this Codex Shredder or not casting the Codex Shredder. If I hold the Codex Shredder back, then that leaves me with the option to either whir or create a token. I don't think I am going to be whirring right now anyway, although that might not necessarily be true. If they bend Felia, then that tells me they might have another Felia. I kind of want this Inquisition of Kozilek on top of my deck. So I think I am going to cast Shredder, and I'm going to do it off of a Spire of Industry so that I create the construct. I have a strong suspicion here that they have a Felia already. And there it is. I don't really want them having Stoneforge Mystic, so I am going to mill that. Hey, and there's the Jite again. Love to see that. Witched Blessed Meadow as a land. That's interesting. I am okay with them drawing a Psychic Frog here. Ephemerate is fine. Thoughtseize is fine. They can't cast that this turn, which would be my big concern. And they are not attacking with Felia. So I am going to create my construct here. And now I really need to think about this. Witched Blessed Meadow. Playing that as a land. Does their hand really just have nothing else in it? I could use Urza Saga to grab Mox Opal so that I can tap this Mox Opal for black and Inquisition them and still whir. If I do that, then this Mox Opal's gone and I would have 1, 2, 3 floating mana Lantern construct and I'd still have 2 Mill Rocks. I think that might actually be the play. So I am going to execute it. Mox Opal number 1 is going to tap for black. Mox Opal number 2 is going to come down. I'm going to keep the new one. I will Inquisition the hero here. Oh, and I didn't float off of Urza Saga. That's unfortunate. And they have the Witch Enchanter. I have outs to this still, but still, it's really annoying. I think I'm actually going to take the Stoneforge Mystic because this can tutor up Meteor Sword, which I know these lists have been playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just going to hold my construct back. No need to get saucy with it right now. We've got a rebounded Ephemerate. Are they going to cast this? It looks like they will. I'm going to let them have the marsh flats. Yeah, that Teferi needs to go. And they just let it go. That's great. Blue-black coming down for a Psychic Frog. And yeah, I think I'm just going to have to be okay with that. And I need to decide what to do here. Am I just going to whir for Bridge? Let them have the Prismatic Ending on top of their deck. They can still ephemerate their Quantum Riddler to draw that. I think I might have to get a Torpor Orb here. Yeah, I'm going to get Torpor Orb. That'll let me make it so that I can mill that Prismatic Ending if I need to. This shuts off the Witch Enchanter. Although I guess if I was planning on doing this, then maybe I should not have taken the Stoneforge Mystic. But I didn't know at the time. I didn't know what I was trying to do. All right, yeah, I'm fine with you fetching in response. We're for 2. I am going to grab Torpor Orb. They're probably going to blink my Construct here. I would be very surprised if they didn't. Yeah, there we go. And now I'm going to have to rely on my lock here to find me something to do. Thoughtseize is not it. Yeah, Thoughtseize just loses me life for no reason, basically. I think I am going to mill the Thoughtseize. Pithing Needle, I'm going to have to take it. Oh, they're pitching the Solitude. That's really surprising. Pitching Thoughtseize, that's fair. Pitching the Jite, sure. I guess they're just trying to get Quantum Riddler active. Yeah, they're pitching a ton of stuff here. I'm really surprised that they didn't pitch Cast Solitude, though. I guess they're planning on using Felia to blink out the Torpor Orb. Yeah, I think I might have just fallen a little bit behind this game. But its Strand is down. Oh, they're blinking out the Pithing Needle on Psychic Frog, huh? Yeah, I'll take that. That's fine. Well, I've got to take that Teferi. I guess I didn't have to take the Teferi, but I still did. Okay, and just straight up Ensnaring Bridge. That's lovely. I think Ensnaring Bridge is just a lock on the game. Oh, right. So they just drew another Quantum Riddler? Okay. I'm going to have to manage that. Flooded Strand is down. And they are just hard casting the Quantum Riddler now. Yeah, Pithing Needle's going to go back on Psychic Frog because I don't want them doing any more of that nonsense. Okay. And I just ripped the Ensnaring Bridge. I love this deck that has so many outs to just instantly find Bridge. That's so nice. All right, so we've got Polluted Delta, Solitude, and Prismatic Ending. You've got to be kidding me. All right, well, that's game. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up to that. That's really unfortunate. Those additional Riddlers were really doing some work there. Oh, boy. Well, let's see what we can do about this deck in the sideboard. This is Esper Blink with GTAs off of a Stoneforge Mystic. I don't know why that's so hard for me to get my little head around. But against this deck, Torpor Orb is really good, but Grafdigger's Cage is not. I need both my Pithing Needles, but I don't think I need Cookbook. I want Duresses. Duresses are really good here. I might also want the Erode. They don't? I guess, no, I don't want Drown in the Log. Drown in the Log is a liability against Psychic Frog, so I think I'm going to keep it like that. And I get one more slot. I think I will spend that on a Welding Jar. Welding Jar doesn't stop everything, but it does stop some things. I guess I could put it on Consigned to Memory. I don't know how good that is. Okay, we are on the play. I think I'm going to keep this hand, and I will drop Urza Saga on 1. I'm actually going to Pithing Needle naming Teferi Time Raveler this time. And I want to cast my stuff out now, because if I get Thoughtseize, then I want it to be protected a little bit. This would be a lot more risky of a play if I was on the draw, and I was worried about like a Wrath of the Skies or a Pest Control or something like that. It's less risky now, but still not like super great. But these are kind of just the high variance hands that you have to deal with when you are playing a blue-based Lantern deck, I think. I can choose between Erode or making a Construct here. And I think the clear answer is probably just making a Construct. All right, that is a blue-producing land that does not make white, so that's not Wrath of the Skies mana. And I found Darkslick Shores. That's really good. I am going to push my advantage while I can. I need to choose what I need to get. I think it might just be Lantern. Yeah, I'm going to push my advantage. I'm going to try and kill. Felia, huh? Felia can start blinking out these constructs. Yeah, here we go. Felia's just going to attack and blink all of these. And the advantage that I've gained from having constructs is kind of disappearing pretty quickly. And that's just a Psychic Frog. That's great. I am going to cycle this Mishra's Bauble now. I'm going to draw the River of Tears, and then I'm going to decide what I'm doing on my upkeep after that. The Darkslick Shores. I think I'm going to hold open a road. And I'm also going to hold this back. Does that mean that I'm just casting Ensnaring Bridge right now? I think so. If that's the case, then I'm going to attack with my construct. Okay, they're just taking it. All right, an Ensnaring Bridge can come down. Actually, I think I'm not particularly worried about my Mox Opal being turned off. They might have a consigned to memory here. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, is this just a Wrath of the Skies for 1? Yeah, that just cooks my life. Okay, well, that's my entire board gone. I guess I should have made myself shuffle with Great Hall to get that Great Hall off the top of my deck. And I am going to erode probably their Frog, since that just represents the most stuff, like the most damage that they can do. Thelia on an empty board is kind of just not impressive. And that was the downside of keeping the hand that I did and not having any discard. At least these Great Halls still do something. Like if these were Spires of Industry, then that would kind of suck. Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to whir over top of this. Wow, and they just kind of had all of it. All right. Wow, they're blinking their Teferi. That's really smart. Okay, I drew Pithing Needle. I don't think I'm going to be doing anything with it right now. I think this is actually Great Hall activate as a 2/4 just to make some blockers. All right, yeah, now they're starting to get going with their engines. The hero's been very patient here. They've been playing very well. Now Thelia just has a ton of stuff that they can that it can bounce, including this Teferi, which is what it looks like they're going to be doing. Yeah, I'm definitely losing this. There's no way on earth that I'm going to recover from this game. Well, it's time to activate the flavor text on Great Hall. Can't say that I've never done this. Okay, I think that's good enough to just concede the game. I could stick around in this game and just keep playing it out, but I've lost. And it was honestly mostly due to the Wrath of the Skies. I took a very aggressive line and Wrath of the Skies just kind of cleaned up the whole thing. So this deck that I'm playing against seems decent enough. It's got tools to make it to the mid game where Stoneforge Mystic can really take over, Psychic Frog can take over. I think I like it a lot. The construction is very nice. I think that next time I need to not be so aggressive with my hands against this deck. And I'm just going to remember that. And I am going to move on to match 2.
If you're enjoying the video and think you'd like watching more of what I make, please consider subscribing so YouTube can notify you when I go live and upload videos. I appreciate your support. Thank you.
I am on the draw in match 2 versus Pothole. I think I'm going to keep this hand. It's got solid-ish mana. It really could use another artifact or a land, but my deck is full of those. And it has things to do before I find that too. Oh, we're playing against good old Burn. This is fantastic. I love to see this. Oh, and I've got Thoughtseize on top of my deck. I really don't love to see that. Good old Goblin Guides. So now I have a choice. My choice is I can Urza Saga, drop that, get that going, and risk getting got by a turn 2 Eidolon of the Great Revel. Or I can Darkslick Shores Inquisition them and try to take that Eidolon anyway. I think I'm not going to win this game without the Underworld Cookbook in play. So I am going to drop Urza Saga as quickly as I can. And I'm going to cast out as much stuff in my hand as I can, trying to get around Eidolon. Burn has historically been a pretty bad matchup for Lantern. It kind of disappeared from the metagame with Modern Horizons 3 coming out and stuff like that. Oh, they just are holding it up, huh? Well, I have a Codex Shredder, so I'm going to mill you so that I can try and turn on this Drown in the Lock in my hand. All right, I have options. I'm going to be putting this Darkslick Shores into play. Now, I think that casting Ghoulcaller's Bell is more or less a given, so I'm going to do that. And now my options are, I can Inquisition them and then Thoughtseize them, but losing life against Burn is just kind of a bad idea. Or I can hold open Drown in the Lock, and I think that is actually what I'm going to do. Boros Charm dealing 4 to me. I'm going to mill with Ghoulcaller's Bell, and I'm going to see what my decision is after that. They've got Skull Cracks. I don't love that. I think I'm going to take it. That's a Swift Spear. Oh, I do not like that. My plan here was to kind of wall off the ground with constructs. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to execute that now. I am going to let them proceed. Oh, they're just moving to combat. All right. I flipped an island. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to drown the Goblin Guide. I'm going to take 1 from the Swifty here. Okay, that's fantastic. I don't have to worry about Flage anymore. So I am just blind milling here. I'm at 11. They have 3 cards in hand. Am I floating off of Urza Saga, or am I creating a construct? I think I'm creating a construct. I think I need to hold down the board. Underworld Cookbook is coming into play. That is just non-negotiable. And I think it is actually positive life for me to Spire and then Inquisition them. All right, that's just a Skullcrack. That's fine. Another Skullcrack. All right, I will take the Skullcrack. They have Lava Spike in hand. So I'm at an effective 4. If they rip a Boros Charm right now, then I'm dead. Monastery Mentor is fine, I guess. Okay, I think I can start taking over this game. Just barely. I am going to eat one of these Tailors. I'm going to fall to 2. I am going to discard a card. It's going to be this Thoughtseize. And now... Oh, that's interesting. I could cast Erode. I don't think I'm going to. I think that Erode is just going to be food for my cookbook. I am going to pop one of these tokens now. And honestly, I'm going to go ahead and do it again. There's no need to get fancy with this. Okay, cookbook is doing its job. I'm at 8 life. They've only got 1 card in hand, and that's an Eidolon of the Great Revel. I'm actually not worried about that right now, as surprising as that might be. I'm not worried about it. And it's because I have Underworld Cookbook active. I am just going to start discarding cards and gaining life. This construct is doing a decent job of holding down the fort. I like that. Eventually, I will get to a point where I draw another land, and then I can discard this Pyxis. Yeah, see, there we go. Barbarian Ring is down. They are continuing to hold Skullcrack open, and now Skullcrack's not open anymore. So I am going to discard this Pyxis, and that's just game. So that decision to get Underworld Cookbook into play as soon as possible ended up winning me the game. Underworld Cookbook is a heck of a card against Burn. It was just doing way too much gaining life against them. I am going to sideboard, and I'm going to bring out all of my Thoughtseizes, because believe it or not, cards that make you lose life are bad when you are playing against a deck whose entire structure is to, you know, kill you. Oh man, who would have guessed? Torpor Orb can come out. Pithing Needle, they have Barbarian Rings. I'm going to put Pithing Needle in the maybe sideboard out slot, and we're going to see what else we can bring in. None of these hate rocks are really useful. Welding Jar is good. Duress is good. Blood Chief's Thirst is good. I think I want creature removal, and that does leave me with room for a single Pithing Needle. So in the end, I ended up siding out 4 Thoughtseizes, Torpor Orb, and 1 Pithing Needle. And I'm bringing in Duress, all of my creature removal, and this silly little Welding Jar. And we're going to run this and see what happens. Being able to win game 1 is huge. I mean, this just has Cookbook in it. I'm going to keep it. I need another land, sure, but I have tools to find it. They kept on top. That's interesting. Okay, and that's Mox Opal. So I can get Cookbook going online immediately, actually. So I think I will do that. And I'm going to put Bell into play because I want to see what they kept on top. I don't have to worry about Flage anymore. Oh, they kept a land on top. So they kept a 1-lander. Maybe they just ripped that Sunbaked Canyon. Yeah, that is a Roiling Vortex. I'm really glad that I have Pithing Needle in here. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, then they lose 5 life, huh? Well, that's a lot of life. I think I will discard the Erode. I think if they had a Eidolon, then they would have used it. Oh, I probably should have popped my Mishra's Bauble there. Yeah, I definitely should have popped my Mishra's Bauble. So I think I'm actually going to just take the turn and gain life here. That's another Roiling Vortex, huh? All right, let's see what's on top of my deck. Whir of Invention. I don't think I want that. I'm going to take 2. Oh, I probably should have discarded this Mishra's Bauble too. Oh, but I found Urza Saga. That's huge. I'd love to see that. And now I can just cast Lantern of Insight, Lightning Bolt on top of their deck. I think I am going to attempt to tax their mana by holding open Underworld Cookbook. I know that they kept that land on top right at the beginning of the game, so I sincerely doubt that they have another land in hand. All right, Underworld Cookbook is going to do Underworld Cookbook things. I'm going to discard this Mishra's Bauble. That's just no good to me right now. And nah, I think I'm actually going to try and kill them with constructs, honestly. I think that might just be what I'm doing now. That's just a land put into play. And yeah, I think I'm just going to kill them with constructs. Ensnaring Bridge on top of my deck. I don't think I need that. In fact, let me think here. I don't think I need another construct. What I do think I need to do is start gaining life. So I'm going to float for mana, and I'm going to find that last remaining Pithing Needle, and I'm going to put it on Roiling Vortex. All right, love to see that. And I am going to do this pre-combat. I'm going to discard this Ensnaring Bridge. It's not useful to me anymore. And they are getting hit for 10. That is a lot of damage. These Roiling Vortexes are actually going to kill them soon. Yeah, sorry, friend. You can't activate. The opponents can't gain life on this. Skullcrack, in response to that, I am going to crack a food. Gonna gain some life. And even if their entire hand is Boros Charms, yeah, I win that. Even if their entire hand was Boros Charms, I could have outraced that. That lined up really, really, really well. Extremely grateful for that Urza Saga doing what Urza Saga does. And the Underworld Cookbook in the opening hand just kind of destroyed them. All right, let's move on to match 3.
Did losing to my prison deck leave you feeling bitter and despondent? Work through the stages of your grief with a membership to Fate Seal Magic on Patreon, YouTube, or Twitch. As your grief matures, you'll gain perks like early video access, lessons and sideboard guides, featuring your deck in a video, and can even co-host a stream once you reach acceptance. Check my Discord server linked in the description for more information and to access your perks. I hope to see you on your path to healing.
We're on the draw in match 3 against Gary, and I can't keep this hand. It's just not responsible. Ugh, that one of Glimmervoid coming to bite me in the butt again. At least I would be mulliganing this anyway. I will keep this. I am going to bottom probably a Spire and a Mishra's Bauble, although I would have really loved to keep that Mishra's Bauble. But I kind of just have to keep Whir of Invention plus all the things for it. Turn 1 Urza Saga into Amulet of Vigor? Nope, into Vexing Bauble. Okay. Although this could still be Amulet Titan. Oh, I just ripped the Lantern. I think I'm going to put Ghoul Caller's Bell into play. I know that what is dead may never die, and Amulet Titan is still up to their usual shenanigans. Yeah, it's Amulet Titan. Oh, it's not Amulet Titan. I thought it was going to be Amulet Titan, but it's not. Well, I'm certainly not going to be milling them with Ghoul Caller's Bell now that I know what they're on, mostly. I am, however, going to be dropping a Great Hall of the Biblioplex into Lantern of Insight, and we are going to be taking that Kozilek's Command off the top of their deck. That's just terrifying. Goodbye, Kozilek's Command. Springleaf Drum, huh? All right, so I didn't know that Broodscale was playing Springleaf Drum. Am I going to get Pithing Needled here? I would be very surprised if I did not get Pithing Needled. If I didn't get Pithing Needled, then it means that they probably just have the win in hand. Oh, I guess Haywire Might works too. Yeah, that's reasonable. All right, Glaring Fleshraker number 1 for a Springleaf Drum. That is going to let them hold open Haywire Might. I don't love that. No, don't tell me they just have everything. No way. You don't just have everything just in hand right now, do you? No way. Although that did tap them out of green. Okay. I think I just have to assume that their last card in hand is dead. Yeah, they're just trying to draw into that Glaring Fleshraker. I think I have to let them do it. And yeah, you're swinging in for 2 here. Don't love that. Well, if I'm going to be finding a Pithing Needle for this Haywire Might, then it's now or never. So I think it is now. Glaring Fleshraker is going to be able to come down, and that is just going to cause a lot of trouble for me. I'm going to lose a lot of life very quickly. I think I have to get rid of the Emrakul, or at least force them to draw off their Vexing Bauble. I'm just in so much trouble. Emrakul is down, Blade of the Bloodchief is down. Mox Opal, huh? That's my draw. Not the greatest draw. Well, at least I can set up my draw for when this Emrakul comes down, and at least I have Ensnaring Bridge. I need to find Torpor Orb ASAP. Okay, yeah, that last card was a dead card, but I don't know how much that matters anymore. Their choices here are either cast Emrakul or don't cast Emrakul. I would assume that it's pretty clear you cast Emrakul in this spot, but maybe they're disagreeing? Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna fall to 3. No, I'm gonna fall to 1. Jeez. I am gonna fall to 1. That's Emrakul entering is also a colorless creature. Yeah, I need to find Torpor Orb as soon as possible. It just has to happen. Oh, wait, no, they can just kill me right now because they can sacrifice the Eldrazi spawn after this attacks. Oh, but they didn't see it. That's weird. I mean, I'm going to take the Ancient Stirrings off top of their deck, and I'm going to let them do their worst. Okay, so I drew the Inquisition. Oh, and they can just have me pay 1 life to Great Hall of the Biblioplex. Okay, I'm just dead. Sure. They missed lethal. They've missed lethal twice, actually. So they missed lethal because they could have swung in, or I guess this has Summoning Sickness, so I guess I couldn't have done that yet. But they could have just made me pay 1 life with Great Hall of the Biblioplex, and now I have an out. And my out is Thoughtseize, so I will just go ahead and cast that. Jeez, what an unfortunate game. Like, I did mold a 5, and I didn't mold a 5 because, like, the quality of my lands was bad, although Glimmer Void being the 1 land in hand 6 was not fun. Yeah, I've only got 1 Glimmer Void in this list. But also, I just didn't have lands. Maybe with additional cards, I could have done something against all of this stuff. Maybe not, who knows? So against Broodscale, how do I want to do this? Grafdigger's Cage stops exactly Haywire Might. I don't think I'm really worried about that. Curse Totem stops Haywire Might as well, while also having text against a lot of other stuff. Torpor Orb only stops exactly Glaring Fleshraker, but I really needed it in that one spot, right? The Underworld Cookbook also stops Glaring Fleshraker. Removal also stops Glaring Fleshraker. So maybe I side these out or something. I could see myself siding out Drowns and bringing in another Erode and triple Consign to Memory. Seems like it might be a decent way to approach this matchup. It makes me more vulnerable to Glaring Fleshraker, but also I have triple Consign. So I am going to run it like this, and we're going to see what happens. Maybe I'll be able to keep 7 this time. And I can keep 7. Yes, I'll keep this. Devourer of Destiny is there open. I am going to play out all of my stuff, and we're going to see what they're working with. Interesting. They're kind of gated on mana here. I'm going to take the Codex command. It's just the scariest thing that their hand can do. And I'm going to pass turn. And this Devourer of Destiny trigger is going to happen. I'm going to see how many cards they exile. If they exile only 3 cards to this, then I am going to mill them on their upkeep. If they exile only 4, or all 4, then I am going to just let them take a natural draw. And they exiled 3. I am going to mill them. Oh, they kept a Broodscale. All right. Yeah, you can keep Broodscale. Well, I mean, I guess you can't, but still. And it looks like they didn't hit the land. If I had to guess, they didn't hit the land. Oh, now I've got a really interesting decision. Do I put down Urza Saga and possibly defer this Whir of Invention? Or do I put down Island and plan on whirring for something? I think I am going to whir. Eldrazi Temple is a card that I didn't know about earlier. Glaring Fleshraker is down. I think I am actually going to whir for my Curse Totem here. That might be a little bit counterintuitive, but I just know for a fact that they're going to be getting a Haywire Might off this Urza Saga. And Curse Totem covers that angle. It covers if they rip another Broodscale. It covers their Glaring Fleshraker, making dopes that they can then use for mana. And I think here I am going to bobble myself and prepare for a Pithing Needle. Don't know if I want another bobble. I think I will mill that. Oh, they just grabbed Blade. Yeah, that's fine. Oh no, they grabbed Springleaf Drum. I'm very silly. Never mind. Another Urza Saga. That's kinda terrifying. And they just kind of cast out a whole bunch of stuff here. I am going to draw... Oh, it's a Mox Opal and a land. Yeah, I didn't really want these draws, unfortunately. I don't know. I don't know about this. I think my construct tokens are going to be ever so slightly larger than theirs. No, don't tell me. They just have an Emrakul in hand. Don't tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. An enchantment, huh? So they want to take me off of Urza Saga. I am just going to go ahead and make the construct. Okay, I'm in a little bit of trouble. Oh, that's a Consign to Memory. So what I can do here, and what I think it is actually correct to do, is I'm going to float off this Mox Opal. I'm going to cast this other Mox Opal. I'm going to keep the untapped one. And I'm actually going to activate Great Hall again. I've been doing this a lot more than I expected. 1, 2, 3, that would come into play as a 4/4. I am willing to trade constructs here, but instead they're just taking the chance to chump with this Eldrazi spawn. Yikes. Yeah, I'm not in good shape, y'all. This is not fun. That Pick Your Poison hitting my Urza Saga hurt a lot. Do I consign this trigger? I think I consign the trigger. I think I need to treat this like it's a Pithing Needle or something. Oh, wait, no. Great Hall of the Biblioplex is a creature and its activated abilities can't be activated. Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm actually brain dead. Jeez. Well, Whir of Invention off the top to bail me out, because that's kind of just what I'm doing now. Yeah, activating Great Hall here was actually a mistake because of that. I'm just going to take the hit, and that's Lantern. Another Urza Saga. Oh my goodness, that's too many Urza Sagas. All right, my stuff's got a chump here. This is a funny interaction, Cursed Totem and Great Hall. I still think it was probably correct to do this, but still. I think I need to keep myself at as high of a life total as I can, because they still have Glaring Fleshraker active and I need to find an answer to it. Yep, I am just going to yield to those. Okay, Whir of Invention off the top to save me. I'll take an Ensnaring Bridge off the top too. That's fantastic. Thank you, Ensnaring Bridge. Love you. All right, there's still a chance for this game then. It's only just barely. This Glaring Fleshraker has to get off the table in the next handful of turns. And by the next handful of turns, I'm pretty sure that I mean right the frick now, actually. Yeah, I'm going to consign this Devourer. Actually, I'm going to mill myself first, and I'm going to see if I can hit one of my 2 roads. The Whir of Invention. If I had Torpor Orb in the deck, that still would have been an out. But unfortunately, I was very silly, and I said, I'm going to make myself more vulnerable to Glaring Fleshraker, and I'm going to side up my Torpor Orb. Oh, geez. I am going to consign this then. Yeah. So Forest is out, and I'm going to draw this Whir of Invention. Oh, right. Yeah, this just happens. I'm going to Whir of Invention now then, and I'm going to tap like this to do it. Would have loved to grab a Torpor Orb right now. That would have been lovely. That would have been great. But instead, I am now fighting for my life, digging for a 2-outer on top of my deck, and I've got to just find it right now. It's another Glaring Fleshraker on top of their deck. At least Urza Saga forces them to shuffle. Consigned to Memory can possibly keep me alive for a little longer. All right, they just grabbed a Haywire Might. That's good. And I think that they're 1 short of casting this Devourer of Destiny that they have left in their hand. 2, 4, 5, 6. They can't pop their spawns. But that also leaves me in a really interesting predicament, because Haywire Might specifically can attack underneath of an Ensnaring Bridge if I hold this Consigned to Memory in hand. This opponent has been playing well. I think I need to give them the benefit of the doubt here. Another Whir of Invention. All right, so it has been very clear that bringing out Torpor Orb was just a mistake. It has to be exactly a road. That's Glimmer Void. just to rub salt in the wound. So the lesson that I learned with this game is when you are playing against Broodscale, keep your Torpor Orbs in. Glaring Fleshraker, hell of a card. Heals you very quickly, very fastly, I might even say. All right, well, this has been fun. Let's move on to match 4. I am on the draw again in match 4 versus SpawnOfChicken. This hand is kind of just full of situationally good stuff. Like, yeah, I can drop Grafdigger's Cage, Underworld Cookbook, Pithing Needle, and then what? I'm gonna mulligan. It's got no plan. This hand just doesn't know what it wants to do. This hand, however, has a plan. I am going to bottom the cookbook, and I'm going to cry when we play against Burn. Although, not cry that hard, because I still have Urza Saga. Bloodstained Mire, Steam Vents, Preordain. This could be a start against Prowess, which is my current guess. I am going to rip off Lantern right now. Yeah, it's Prowess. Okay. And they're just kind of going off with their Quarry Steel Cutter right now. You go, Queen. Slay. Great Hall of the Biblioplex is not a great pickup. I do not like all of these expensive discard spells that I have just kind of found myself having. I am going to Inquisition them. Swifty EI. That's a hell of a hand. So there's no way that I can take them off of double spelling this turn unless I sacrifice my Lantern, and I'm not convinced I want to do that. Next turn, I could create a construct if I wanted to block. It would be a 2/2 construct. I might actually leave them with the EI in hand. How crazy is that? That's a bit crazy, I think. I just don't know if they have removal in the main. I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave them with EI in hand, and I'm going to take the Swift Spear. All right, we've got a pretty anemic draw on my part versus their pretty dang good draw. Although they did lead on a turn 1 preordain instead of a turn 1 threat, so maybe it wasn't that great. So they could do Swift Spear, Lava Dart, Flashback Lava Dart this turn if they wanted to, or they could just do that. That's fine as well. Dragon's Rage Channeler on top of the deck right now. Is that going to stay there? I imagine not. I think the time for Darcy has passed. Oh, they did in fact take the Darcy. Well, I am gonna have to take this Thoughtseize. Wow, and I am just ripping lands right off the top of the deck here. Just lands, 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 lands. And all of these lands hurt me when I use them to cast instants and sorceries. I think I am going to lose this game. They could Expressive Iteration here, hoping to hit a land so that they can get that Lava Dart in hand. I think that's greedy though. I think all they have to really do is just Channeler into Dart Dart. And I think that might actually kill me on the spot. We're gonna have to see. Oh yeah, there's no way on earth I survived this turn. I just got fully ran over. And yeah, that's definitely a loss. I didn't draw super well, my keep wasn't super great, and they just kind of played the game and I kind of just did nothing. All right, how do we want to sideboard against them, huh? Thoughtseizes are, again, not looking fantastic. I might side them out, I might not. If I am siding them out, I'm probably going to be bringing in stuff like Welding Jar. I think Pithing Needles are not particularly good here either. Cage is fine, Cookbook is really good, Torpor Orb is bad. I could bring in this pile of cards here, plus the Welding Jar, and then I would need one more card. Soulless Jailer, maybe? Yeah, I could see that. Siding out Thoughtseizes, Pithing Needles, and Torpor Orbs for actual interaction and stuff that protects me. I think I'm okay with that. Being able to hot swap Thoughtseizes into Duresses feels really good. In certain configurations of the sideboard, I could possibly even see having a third Duress. And this hand does nothing. I'm gonna mulligan it. This hand doesn't do exactly stone cold nothing, but it does do very little. I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna bottom one of the Pyxides, and I am going to lead on Spire of Industry into Codex Shredder. I will counter a Quarry Steel Cutter if I need to. Like, there's an argument for going to 5 there, it feels so bad. I think I'm gonna mill them once. Oh, just Soulless Jailer, just like that, huh? I think I'm going to continue to hold open Drown in the Lock, though. That is a Quarry Steel Cutter. I'm going to let them do the Surveil with Dragon's Rage Channeler first. They kept it on top. I'm going to mill it, and then I'm going to counter this Quarry Steel Cutter. There we go. Goodbye. And that is a lot of the pressure taken off of me now. They still have land and artifact. I'm surprised that they kept Steam Vents on top of their deck with the first Surveil, and then binned the Scalding Tarn. I don't know what's up with that. Now I just need a good hit. I'm not gonna mill myself, just in case that's like a Lantern or something. That's Mishra's Bauble. All right, sure. Mishra's Bauble is fine, but I'm really looking for a Lantern of Insight, an Ensnaring Bridge, and then I'm gonna be looking for a discard spell, and I'll also be looking for, well, more lock pieces, I guess. There's a lot that needs to go right here. There's still one card type away from Dragon's Rage Channeler being able to attack as a 3/3. Ooh, but they did do double top here. I don't love that. And they're swinging in. If they have an instant, then Dragon's Rage Channeler is just a 3/3 regardless. Am I willing to trade Soulless Jailer for like 6 life here? Probably. I'm probably willing to do that. I'm gonna block the Dragon's Rage Channeler. And here's the Lava Dart. I guess I wasn't trading it for 6 life. I was trading it for like 4. Jeez, yeah, they just kind of had a lot of stuff going on here. All right, that hurt. That hurt a lot. I need an Ensnaring Bridge. They've been keeping a card on top this entire time with Dragon's Rage Channeler. I just milled it. It was another Swift Spear, huh? Well, I need the consistency here. Let's try and find something. Urza Saga. I think I'm going to get rid of Urza Saga. I think it's a little bit too late for that. Inquisition of Kozilek and the Underworld Cookbook. All right. Well, we are doing Cookbook gaming now, which doesn't feel great, but we're off the top for Ensnaring Bridge is still an out. And they kept a card on top with Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm going to exile it. Yikes, Consigned to Memory hit the exile zone. What does that mean? That means they just have another one in hand along with the blue land to cast it? I'm suddenly taking another 6 damage here. I don't know how exactly that happened. Glimmervoid, love to see ya. Get turned into a food. I'm just gonna do this now. And they are relentless with their assault here. Quarry Steelcutter's coming down. I need to get bailed out. I don't know what to say. And now Ensnaring Bridge is not good enough for as long as they have blue mana untapped. No, wait, but they exiled that to the expressive iteration. They didn't put it in hand. And they're just dealing 8 damage right now. I don't know if I'm going to survive this turn. They have a lava dart in the graveyard, right? Yeah, okay. No, I'm not surviving. That's a concession for me, dog. I'm not going to be able to survive this. So I think I did the best that I could. I kind of just had pretty anemic draws the entire time. Like, my hands didn't really do much, and it was just like, do I keep this mediocre 6 or do I risk going to 5? And it was a whole thing. The deck kind of just didn't really do much. It kind of just got a lot of garbage. Even in this second game, where I sideboarded a lot of good cards in, I really just didn't see much. Like, I saw Soulless Jailer, I guess, Drown in the Lock did a thing, I guess, but like, where were my Whir of Inventions? Where were my Lanterns? Urza Saga showed up too late. It was just a thing that happened. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to match 5, though. So I am on the draw again. That's kind of been a thing this league, I think. In match 5 versus, yeah. This hand does actually stone cold nothing. Like, it has good cards in it, but I don't think I can keep this. I can keep this, unfortunately. I'm gonna bottom the bauble. I think this is just better than going to 5. Some really anemic draws, I think. Might be worth trying to figure out why these draws are anemic. And I think I will just lead on Thoughtseize here. Yep. Take that Birthing Ritual. Just take it straight out of their hand. No, thank you. I do not want to play against that right now. They don't want another Ice Fang Quaddle, huh? I guess they have enough of those. Oh, hey, Fibblethip. Thanks for telling me what you drew for turn, I guess. You didn't have to do that. And that's another Lantern of Insight. I don't love that. I think I am going to cast Lanterns as opposed to casting Torpor Orbs. I'm not ready for Subtlety to come down and just starting to cause trouble. Do I really want a Great Hall right now? No, not really. They get a Verdant Catacombs. Graveyard's not very full, so the support Oculus is not going to be castable for a little bit of time. They could evoke Subtlety, fetch with Verdant Catacombs, and that still wouldn't do it. That would, though. Now, if they evoke Subtlety and they find a Oculus and they just get to do stuff. Boiling Oracle gets to come down. Sure. Think into Stupor, huh? I don't know if I'm ready for that. Oh, Grafdigger's Cage. Sure. After I've taken their Birthing Ritual. I'm doing nothing. I am doing so little here. I don't think I put down the Torpor Orb. Yeah, I'm gonna let it go. I just don't want them using Subtlety right now. Getting rid of that Sink into Stupor, using the spare Lantern. At least this makes them do something right now. Like, they could still Ice Fang Quaddle right now if they wanted to. So maybe I should have actually done this on my own turn, huh? I got a little bit of instantitis here. I don't know. I feel like a lot of my decisions today have been, do I keep bad 6s or do I mulligan to 5? And that is never a really good place to be. At least their clock is not very big. That's like the only thing I've got going for me right now. And I still haven't found a really good spot to put this Torpor Orb. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it alone. Thoughtseize on top of my deck right now is kind of unfortunate. I want to take the Sink into Stupor, but I also kind of want to activate this Great Hall and stop these beats on the ground. But the hero's going to be turning the corner here fairly quickly once this Subtlety comes down. Jeez, Force of Negation. I think this is just too much for me to handle. Like, do I shuffle with Lantern here? Yeah, I think I have to. Now I don't know what they have. I think next turn is the turn where I cast Torpor Orb and Thoughtseize. Shardless Agent, you just hit it, huh? All right. I guess they were gonna be bound to hit something like that eventually, right? Okay, I'm gonna play my land drop. I'm going to Thoughtseize you. And interestingly enough, they're still tapped out of Subtlety, so I don't know if it's correct for me to, oh, sure. Yeah, it's definitely not correct for me to play Torpor Orb now. Still very much in the whir or bust. Still not whir. And here's Hardcast Subtlety. I think that Hardcast Subtlety is just game. They still have the Sink into Stupor in hand, so whatever they do here... Oh, okay. Well, maybe I do stand a chance then. A tiny one. Ah, who am I kidding? I don't think I have a chance here. Okay, yeah, I just didn't have anything. Nothing came together. Just having some bad beats in this league, I think. Been hurting a lot. I feel like a lot of my draws have just been pretty underwhelming. So against Birthing Ritual, Erodes are kind of sussy. Drowns are kind of sussy. Torpor Orb I still think is decent. I will take out a single Pithing Needle, and I will take out Underworld Cookbook. Grafdigger's Cage is really good. I could bring in Duresses, and then what? I expect them to have some sort of removal for my Ensnaring Bridge, so maybe Welding Jar is decent. Consigned to Memory I don't think is going to be good. Soulless Jailer. This would stop Cascade, I guess, but only if it hits a Birthing Ritual. So I don't know about that. Maybe I leave Drowns in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to run it like this. This doesn't feel great, but at least the mapping is kind of clean. I think they didn't sideboard. The timer just kind of ran all the way down. Oh my goodness, that's just the theme of the day, isn't it? Mulligan. Yeah, I have to keep this. I am going to bottom the Thoughtseize. Oh hey, finally, the hero's mulliganing lower than I am in this matchup, in this league. That's, I think that's a first, actually. Have we had a hero mulligan this entire time? I don't know what we have. Or maybe I'm just not remembering properly. That happens. Oh, they've got a Gemstone Caverns. Well, I was going to play a Shredder on turn 1. But now I think I'm instead going to cast Inquisition of Kozilek. And that's their hand. All right, they got 2 cards in hand. I am going to just boldly play out my strategy here. We're just going to do the thing. What, did you have a Consigned to Memory as your draw or something? That would make the most sense here, given the pauses that they've been doing. Yep, that's a Consigned to Memory. All right, well, I am going to play out a Shredder then. That one Culling Ritual could still win the game for them. Okay, they were wise in not fetching here. Ugh, Hedge Maze. Keeping it on top. I am going to go ahead and mill that. Yeah, that was just a land. Now, the question is, do I bobble myself attempting to find a 6-outer to get this Culling Ritual out of their hand? I think I do. That's Mox Opal. That is not an out. I am going to take that. I need a Thoughtseize or a Duress. And that's Thoughtseize. Okay. Well, that just helped out a ton. Now they are completely empty-handed, and I have constructs on the way plus a Lantern of Insight. I did have to tap out of my Codex Shredder to do that, though, so they could still do something here. Oh, they surveilled the card to top after a lot of thinking. Wonder what this could be. Whir of Invention, huh? I think because Whir of Invention was my draw, I am going to float here instead of creating the construct. I'm going to grab a Lantern of Insight. And honestly, I think I'm going to main phase this. Just going to do it right now. Okay, and we have got a lock in place. I have a discard spell on top of my deck. I am going to allow them to draw the Flare of Denial. I think I will not let them have the Birthing Ritual, though. Even though there are no creatures in play right now, there will eventually be creatures in play. All right, let's see what they're working with here. They might just flare this. Yeah, they're flaring it. What could they have in hand that they didn't cast? Am I really playing around Culling Ritual number 2 as their one unknown card? I don't think so. I think I'm just hoping that they don't have it. Although, now that I know they have Fade from Histories in their deck, that could have been a thing too. So it looks like they are casting something. It's just Abhorrent Oculus. All right, that I think I can manage. It's a really good threat to have. I need an Ensnaring Bridge. I need a Whir of Invention. Yeah, this Oculus is going to get big pretty dang quickly. And I think that they're starting to break out of it. I'm going to exile that Birthing Ritual. I just don't want them having it right now. Okay, and it's just Misty Rainforest. That's good. But I'm still in real trouble. I can take a hit from this attack, and I can take a hit from the next attack. But even then, it's only just barely, and that's assuming that there's nothing good underneath of either of these manifests. Ha! Torpor Orb. Look at that. I think I'm going to draw the Torpor Orb, and I'm going to cast it. I am still digging to a 6-outer here, actually. If they just have an Abhorrent Oculus underneath one of these manifests, that's going to feel so bad. At least Icefang Quaddle no longer does anything. All of my lands will tap without causing trouble. Glimmervoid actually being relevant there. So if I find the Whir of Invention, then I will be able to cast it without killing myself. Grafdigger's Cage, unfortunately, does have to go. Okay, Whir of Invention is still my out. Force of Negation on top of their deck is fine because Icefang Quaddle does not cantrip right now. Yeah, I'm just not hitting my out. Has to be exactly Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, that's not good enough. Oh, that sucks. The hero mulled to 5, pitched a card to Gemstone Caverns, effectively had a 3-card hand, and still won the game. I didn't find my ounce. I did not find my ounce. So we are going to face a 1-4 here. I am going to wrap up the league. So that's a 1-4 record with this build. In all honesty, though, despite some play mistakes on my end, not going to say I played perfectly this league, but I just had some really difficult decisions. Do I keep this bad 6 or do I mull to 5? Do I continue digging for outs or do I do something else? It's just like, I feel like I just didn't see what I needed to see when I needed to see it. And that really stinks because I spent a decent chunk of time trying to put this deck list together and I've continually trying to work on it. But the deck kind of just didn't want to give me what I needed in order to win games. As far as Great Hall of the Biblioplex though, remember that one time when we were playing against Broodscale and I activated Great Hall and I used it to chump a construct? I think there might be something there. Like that last line on Great Hall wasn't just flavor text, like it was actually legitimately useful. And I didn't find my out because that's just the story of what's going to happen today. I just didn't find my outs today. But that thing being a creature wasn't actually all that bad. So I think given how nice it was to just be able to cast my spells, I will just continue testing with Great Hall of the Biblioplex. And we're just gonna have to see how that goes. I'm liking the build. It needs a little bit of work, a little bit of tuning, but you know, it's fun to pilot. And I do think that Great Hall is going to be a staple of certain types of Lantern control going forward.
This program is made possible by generous funding from these sponsors, and also by your view, like, and comment, the support of my wife and son, and by contributions to Fate Seal Magic from viewers like you. Thank you.